Venus and Mars coming together is a sign that love and sex are now entangled with each other. In simple words, it means that the native cannot imagine love without sex. And interestingly, those who have this conjunction, they have a great sex appeal. They generally look very hot and sexy, and their life is also spiced up with many love affairs, or even a single love affair is so intense that they just cannot imagine a breakup. And by destiny, if they face a breakup, then it really impacts them very badly. I have seen women and men remaining unmarried just because they cannot think of anybody else other than their lover who left them halfway. Fifth house is the hub of love affairs and romantic experiences. And so, when you have the hot, sizzling conjunction of Venus and Mars in the very hub of love affairs, that is the house of fifth, then the native is bound to fall in love multiple times in life. Or he may fall in love with just one woman, but that will be so intense that his whole life will be engulfed by just that one love, one woman. The very first glimpse of love happens through the eyes. Love at first sight is something that often happens with natives having Venus Mars conjunction. Seeing is believing, and love at first sight is as true and real as it gets. Love is first seen through the eyes. That is why the saying goes that if you want to know whether the woman loves you or whether the man loves you, look into the eyes, for the eyes can never deceive. And so is the love that showers from the eyes of the Master. But such a love is of higher altitudes. It is unconditional, it is pure, it is divine. The greatest love stories are indeed the love stories that happened between a disciple and the Master. The disciple moving towards the Master moving towards the disciple. It is so pure, so divine that language is poor. It is beyond the power of words to express the love between a disciple and the Master. No love is as total as the love that happens between the Master and the disciple. The love that happened between John and Jesus, the love that happened between Sariputta and Buddha, the love that happened between Gautama and Mahavira, Arjuna and Krishna, Chang Tzu and Lao Tzu, these are the real love stories, the highest pinnacles of love. Reminds me of a great spiritual master, His Holiness Sridhar Swami. He was one of the greatest masters. He lived in the small town of Alandi. Many people would come to him to seek solutions, and he was a man of many miracles. He healed many diseases, and he also helped thousands in overcoming the black magic spells. He was a great yogi, but also he was a great human being. And I had met him in person when he was 75 years old. Just 3 years of acquaintance, and he was so fond of me. I could see that pure love in his eyes. He would fondly address me as Tamhankar. He was a man of miracles, a great spiritual master. One afternoon, he was lying on his bed, and I happened to visit him. He remained lying on his bed. I stepped ahead. He was a diabetic patient, and so he had urinated in a glass bottle, and the bottle was kept on a table near to his bed. I looked at the bottle, it was filled with his urine. I said to him, Baba, I will empty this bottle. At that moment, the love that I saw in his eyes is beyond the power of expression. He could see that I have absolutely no problem in touching the bottle filled with his urine. He just nodded his head and said, It's okay, you don't have to do this. The love between a disciple and the master cannot be expressed in words. My bonding with him was very strong. In his ashram, the name Tamhankar became so well known in his ashram that if I missed to visit him for a few weeks, then everyone would start asking, Where is Tamhankar? The greatest honor that I had while being in his omnipresence was when he asked me to prepare his horoscope. I said, Baba, it is like Krishna asking Sudama to prepare his horoscope. You are the greatest enlightened being I have ever met in person. And so why you need your horoscope? But Baba was a very humorous person. I still remember his smiling face. Often he would joke and often he would laugh at himself. Fools laugh at others. Wisdom laughs at itself. Baba looked at me and said, Tamhankar, what's wrong in making my horoscope? Make it. I made his horoscope. He was born on 1938, on 18th November. He looked at his horoscope and said, Now predict something. I also want to know about my future. And he started laughing loudly. A true saint is always humorous. He laughs, he smiles, he is in his own bliss. Always remember, if you find a saint who has no sense of humor, then he is not a saint at all. Those who were present were surprised. One of them said to me, This is the first time in his life that Baba has asked someone about astrology. You are very fortunate. This is all the Leela of the Master. The Master's love is simply inexpressible. And it is only through tears that you express the inexpressible. Never be ashamed of your tears. Be proud that you are still natural. Be proud that you can express the inexpressible through your tears. That moment, my eyes were filled with tears. I fell upon Baba's feet and Baba gave a pat on my back. It was a blessing. Baba left his mortal body in the August of 2020. But I often remember the many moments of sharing that we had together. He would share many stories with me in private. His devotees in the ashram would often say, When Tamhankar comes, Baba is very happy. Throughout his life, Baba performed many miracles. He was an expert in removing black magic spells, and nobody had the guts to stand before his immense spiritual power. And yet, he lived a very simple life. He belonged to a very rich family of landlords, but he left everything and spent over 40 years in a simple room. He never had to do any show off. No long beard and no saffron clothes, and no big tilak and no advertisements. He lived in his own way, simple and sweet. Always remember, the real never has to do any show off. Showing off is the fool's idea of glory. And so, love has many levels. Always remember this. Love exists from the lowest rung to the highest rung. There are many layers, many planes of love. It all depends on you. If you are existing on the lowest rung, you will have a totally different idea of love than the person who is existing on the highest rung. Adolf Hitler will have one idea of love, Gautam Buddha another, and they will be diametrically opposite because they are two extremes. Venus Mars conjunction is a hot love. It is not the love of Buddha because Buddha's love is cold and not hot. The general public have always known only one type of love, and that is hot love. In fact, even when they eat dog, they want hot dog. Yesterday, Mohan's friend came and said, "My girlfriend has lost interest in me." I asked, "Why? What happened?" He said, "She says, you are no more hot." You see, this is how love is expected to be hot, very hot. Venus Mars conjunction is capable of producing such hot love. One day Mohan asked me, "What is hot love?" I said, "Hot love means passionate love." But the problem with passionate love or hot love is that it loses interest very fast. Mohan asked, "Why so?" Because the attraction is more towards physical pleasures. Once you have explored every part of the body, then exploring the same body again and again seems boring. And then one loses interest. Because how long can you chew the same stick? Sexual or physical attraction cannot last forever. You simply see some beautiful face, you see some beautiful body, and you think, "My God, I am in love." This love is not going to last because after 2 days, seeing the same face for 24 hours a day, you will get bored. The same body, you have explored the whole topography. Now there is nothing to explore. Exploring the same geography again and again, you feel like an idiot. That is how relationships formed out of physical attraction fall apart. Venus Mars conjunction drives you crazy as you simply get attracted physically towards the opposite sex. And the opposite sex also gets attracted towards you because of your immense physical beauty or physical attraction. The other aspect of Venus Mars conjunction is emotional vulnerability. Emotions, that is Venus, becomes often intense and wild because of Mars, leading to a highly emotional love story that either converts into a legal union, that is marriage, or a serious relationship which is no less than a marriage. Breakup is a very common trait of this conjunction because both the male and female are so intense in their love relationship. There is so much emotion involved that even a slightest mistake of misunderstanding each other can lead to a heartbreaking love story. 90% of the men and women having Venus Mars conjunction are found to be sexy and very attractive. A Venus Mars conjunction woman find it difficult to prevent attraction from men. I knew one woman and she had Mars Venus conjunction in Aries sign, and she looked very sensual and attractive. Wherever she went, she could sense the unwanted attraction and attention from men. Finally, she decided to have a low profile. So she would not do any makeup, no hairstyling, nothing. She started moving in simple dress, and yet still she could see men attracted towards her. You see, Mars-Venus conjunction brings great power of attraction. The native attracts the attention of opposite sex. Once a woman asked me, "It seems I am not able to attract attention of men towards me. How to attract attention of men?" I said, "You are attractive. The fact is that you look beautiful, and there are many men who may find themselves pulled towards you, but nobody will tell you on the face because men are afraid of what you may think if they compliment you." And that is true. Many times we want to appreciate the beauty, but in today's world, you never know what fuss one may make out of this appreciation. Reminds me of my youthful days when I was 25. I was flying from Mumbai to San Francisco, and in my flight, the passenger next to me was a very beautiful young woman in her mid 20s. I was young, and that was my very first flight outside India. The flight had a stop at Heathrow Airport. While changing the flight, I saw her again. She was standing and reading a magazine. I thought to step ahead and just compliment her by saying, "You truly look like a goddess." But then I changed my mind because who knows, she may have taken it wrongly and may not have liked me appreciating her beauty. It is a different story that a time came in my life when I was no more attracted towards the physical beauty. Because when you experience something that is beyond, something that is of higher altitudes, then you no more remain trapped in the physical beauty, because physical beauty is temporary, spiritual beauty is immortal. But as far as this material world is concerned, it is indeed a fact that people notice your physical beauty, but rarely will anybody dare to speak up his or her mind openly, because in this Kali Yuga age, you never know what meaning one will derive, even though your intention is very pure and you simply want to admire the beauty that God has so lovingly bestowed on him or her. The secret of happiness is to admire without desiring. Venus Mars conjunction works wonders for natives born on Virgo ascendant. Now, the beauty of Virgo ascendant is that these fellows are blessed with a youthful appearance. I know many men and women born on Virgo ascendant, and most of them don't look their age. A 52 years old woman born on Virgo ascendant will look almost 10 years younger, and on top of that, if she has this conjunction of Venus and Mars, then she will give a tough competition to even those girls who are just 18 years old. Virgo is very much youthful in appearance, and generally these fellows are not bulky or fat. They maintain good shape, they focus on dieting a lot. Venus Mars conjunction works wonders for natives born on Gemini ascendant as well. Gemini is a next door girl or next door boy ascendant sign, meaning these are very accommodating, easy to go individuals. And generally, these fellows love to party. The sign Gemini is basically very sexy, in fact, highly sexual. Venus Mars conjunction for this ascendant, that is for Gemini ascendant, gives birth to a highly sexy person. Many well known actors and actresses are born with this setup. Gemini ascendant and Venus Mars conjunction is indeed a deadly combination, in the sense it brings a lot of attraction towards you. It makes you more appealing. This deadly combination makes these fellows very attractive and appealing. If you fall for a woman having this set up in her birth chart, then I will not blame you. You just cannot control yourself when you are in company with such a hot girl or a hot man. Libra ascendant is also very good for Venus Mars conjunction. Libra ascendant fellows are highly diplomatic and social by nature. Libra ascendant men and women are also highly intellectual and take great interest in philosophy, romance, thriller books, and thriller movies. Venus Mars conjunction not only make these fellows highly appealing, but along with physical beauty, they also have intellectuality, which makes a great combination to attract a suitable mate. Taurus ascendant is also excellent for Venus Mars conjunction. Taurus ascendant people are more interested in the outer appearance, and so they themselves take immense efforts in enhancing their beauty. They exercise, they take brisk walks because physical appearance means a lot to them. These are fellows who are more interested in action. If they love you, then they would want to express it by kissing you on the lips. Designs, fashion, beautiful surroundings, perfect ambience is all that matters a lot to them. And Venus Mars conjunction makes them just more appealing and attractive. A woman having Taurus ascendant and Venus Mars conjunction is just too hot to handle. Only someone who resonates with her can actually win her heart. These fellows are very romantic by heart, bubbling, chatting, and joyous by nature. Having a Taurus ascendant woman as a girlfriend or a wife is indeed a great blessing because they can make your world a much beautiful world. Ideally, for Mercury and Venus ruled ascendants, Mars Venus conjunction works wonders. However, there is one more ascendant that often becomes a great place for Venus Mars conjunction, and that is the ascendant Aries. Aries ascendant people are bossy by nature. They like to dominate and they are simply brilliant when it comes to adventures and sports. They are courageous beings. They will not waste a minute to express their feelings, especially if they are in love with you. They will simply express their heart out, saying, I love you. Saying I love you is not difficult for these fellows. They are Martians. They like to keep it straight, short and sweet is their motto. And then whether it is love or hate, they are quick to express themselves. And when it comes to sex, then too they are very quick. They like to get in action and they know what you want when it comes to satisfying your sexual desires. Venus Mars conjunction makes these Aries ascendant fellows emotionally intense, and unfortunately, they experience many breakups until one day they finally settle with the love of their life. For other seven ascendants, Venus Mars conjunction needs certain remedies. Otherwise, this conjunction can simply drive them crazy in the matters of love relationships, or if the chart is too bad, then also they may get dragged into multiple sexual relationships. Always remember, and I specifically say this to my close followers, that don't ask what happens when Venus Mars comes together. Instead, ask yourself why they have come together in your birth chart. This why can move you inwards. This why can motivate you to embark on the greatest journey. the journey within. Remember, there are many millionaires who die like a beggar. They have everything, but they die with utter disappointment, in a miserable mind state. And then there are few, very few, who die like an emperor in their own bliss. You have to decide which way you want to move. For those who have died like an emperor have lived like Buddha. So decide which path you want to walk, the path of an ignorant being or the path of Buddha. Your destiny and your future births are purely based on the path you choose. Choose wisely. The Master says, here emperors die like beggars. If you want to die like emperors, then learn to live like Buddha. To live like Buddha, you need to learn to watch, to witness. So far, you know only two ways, either to be angry, be violent, destructive, or to repress it. You don't know the third way, and the third way is the way of the Buddhas. Neither indulge nor repress. Watch. Just watch. Just watch. Just witness. Don't indulge in any act. Just watch. Just witness. And you will be able to do so only when you become more and more detached. Witnessing is possible only through the state of detachment. Detachment means you can live with your parents, you can live with your family, you can own dozens of cars and dozens of bungalows, but you will not get attached to any of this. You will remain detached. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Sri Krishna says to Arjuna, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. How to get to the state of detachment? Asked Mohan. I hugged Mohan and said, nobody has asked this question. Hundreds of people come to me, but nobody has asked this beautiful question. And since you have asked, I will answer. Attachment is of the mind. Remember this. And to reach to the state of detachment, you have to focus on overcoming this mind. And to do so, the only upay, the only remedy is chanting the holy mantra. It is through chanting that you slowly move beyond the mind. Then you can start experiencing the state of detachment. It all begins with Nam. That is why Baba Nanak has emphasized on the Nam. That is why Sant Kabir has stressed on chanting. That is why Saint Tulsidas and many enlightened beings have encouraged us to focus on chanting the name of the Holy Lord. But who wants to listen? Those few who have listened, who have started chanting the name of the Lord, have progressed much faster in life, materially as well as spiritually. Because the power of chanting is immense, my fellows, but only blessed souls can realize this power, can appreciate this power. Srila Prabhupada of ISKCON says, what cannot be achieved through the performance of Vedic rituals can be easily achieved through the chanting of the Lord's holy name. Life is simple, my fellows. It is your mind that complicates life. And to control and overcome this monkey mind, The only way is to chant. Only through chanting can you pacify the restless mind. Baba Nanak says, Kirat karo, work hard and honestly. Naam japo, always remember God and share with the needy. Venus Mars comes together because for many past births you have been too focused on sexuality, on physical beauty, on physical appearances. But this birth you can work on overcoming these traits of your many past repeats by starting chanting regularly with consistency and devotion. There is much more to share, but for now, enough. My sharing is only for those blessed souls who follow me, who connect with me, and who carry a pure heart. To such souls, my doors are always open, but only for these selective souls who understand the language of heart. Always remember, the mind has a dilemma. It is afraid of change, deeper change. Yet, the mind is attracted to life, which is change. Don't be mixed up in all that business. You merely observe casually, passively, and keep your attention inside your heart. Your heart is beautiful. Your heart knows the way. What comes between is the ugly mind. Mind is the most difficult prison, my fellows. A meditative being's focus should be in breaking this prison by focusing more and more on your heart. Until one day the heart opens up and you start experiencing the beyond, the unseen, the divine. You have to keep breaking your heart until it opens, says Rumi, one of the greatest Sufi saint. Love to all my listeners and followers. Stay blessed and remember to meditate every day. Chant the holy mantra and focus on your breathing. Remember, it is only through consistent efforts that you can attain self growth. And it is very important to remember that after you die, what comes with you is not your bank balance, but your self growth. So focus on your self growth and remember to meditate every day. Jai Sri Ganesha, Jai Guru.